Have you ever needed to find a random direction while playing D&D? If so, this video is going to be for you. This is going to be Dungeons & Dragons Crafting Random Direction Finder. Hi guys, I'm DM Dunn, and today I'm going to show you how you can make this fun to use random direction finder. When you're playing D&D, there's lots of different reasons why you need to find a random direction. For example, if you find yourself stuck inside of a water elemental and you fight your way out, you're going to be spit out in a random direction. Easy enough, the DM can just say you go that way or you go that way, or they can just roll a d8 and say 12 o'clock is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I like to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. And so I created not only an 8-point direction, but I have a square in the middle because you're going to use 2 dice to find the direction, which gives it a true randomization. If you only have the 8 directions and you're using just a d8, statistically it can start to get predictable if you do enough of the rolls. But anyways, we like to roll dice, so this gives you a chance to roll 2 dice. How it works is the square in the middle has each of the sides labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, so you roll a d4. Whatever number that is the direction it's going to be pointing towards the Dungeon Master, which is going to spin this star around. And then from there, they roll the d8, and then you're going to get the position from there. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this fun, easy to use tool that basically makes random directions a little bit more fun at your game table. So the first thing that I did is I wanted to find an 8-point star. So I just Googled 8-point star images, and then I just copy and pasted it onto a Word document, adjusted the size to the size that I think I wanted, and then I printed it. Then I cut it out. And I like to use, when I'm cutting paper, a razor blade versus just the scissors, especially when I'm coming into a point like this. And when I'm cutting paper, it's also really good to use a fresh, brand new razor blade. When you guys change your razor blades, please be very cognizant of other people that may accidentally get injured by them. So don't just toss them into your trash bins or your trash cans. Please go ahead and try to blunt the ends. And the easiest way to do it, just get some tape, preferably duct tape or something thick and strong, and put the blade in the middle of that, and so that all of the edges and the points are going to be dull and won't be cutting or poking anybody. All right, so once you have your new blade, just cut out the shape. And then what I did is I transferred that shape onto a scrap piece of foam that I have. And I just make sure that the piece that I had was big enough to fit the 8-pointed star. Drew it on. Now I have a Proxon, so I'm able to use my Proxon to cut out the star using my flat edge, my metal ruler as my guide to try to keep the lines a little bit straight. They don't have to be exact. If you don't have a Proxon, don't worry, you can still accomplish the same thing with a metal straight edge and your Olfa or your sharp knife as well. So you can still get the same effect. So once I had that cut out, I cut out a square that was small enough to fit inside of the 8-pointed star. And for this foam, as you can see, it's a lot thinner. I used the Dollar Tree foam board. And then I just, in this example, I cut it out. It was 1.5 inches. You can just use the tacky glue and glue that right into the center, and then use our good old-fashioned foam ball to create some stone texture on all of your foam. From there, we go to the very popular base coat with black paint and Mod Podge to get a base coat once that's dry. Simple stone textures, whatever colors that you guys are whatever colors you like. I like to start with, on top of the black, I do a dark gray. And then I go in and put some spots of a burnt umber just to kind of create some fun extra colors into it versus just being a bunch of different grays. So after the spots of burnt umber, then I follow up with a lighter gray. And then I follow up for the highlights, I use an off-white. And when you're doing the highlights, whatever you're doing, a light gray or an off-white, you want to make sure you use the edges so that those are popping, because That's what highlights are going to be doing, is counting or showing the edges and highlighting the edges. So make sure you highlight the edges of your square as well as the edges of the star, and then you're going to be good to go. So from there, I needed to put some numbers on. It's going to be up to you how you want to get your numbers on, whether you just paint them on yourself or get stickers and cut them out, or get stencils and use the stencils and paint over it, or whatever it is. My example, my wife has these nice rubber stamps, so I was able to use the numbers from that just to pop the numbers on. I just used the standard craft paint, put some paint on there and squished it on. And if you want to, you can follow up with your small, fine, detailed paintbrush and a little bit of that same color and just kind of fill in the numbers if it doesn't look as clean enough for you. And then from there, you're ready to go, and you got yourself a nice, fun to use 2-dice random direction finder. Pop this on the table the next time that in your game that you need to find a random direction, and it'll just create a little bit more fun for your game and your players. Hey guys, do us a favor, write some comments down below. If you guys do make this and use it, tell us, what happened when your players first saw it, or if you have any recommendations or suggestions on improving this, or requests for future videos. We'd love to read all the comments, so feel free to go ahead and write them all down below. And you can also help us out if you want to become help us out with our Amazon affiliate links. If you need anything from Amazon, just click our link below. It'll route you to Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it really does help us for you doing that. So please help us out by doing that. If you'd also like to support us, you can become a Patreon at patreon.com/dmdone. There's several different levels and layers of Patreons that you could choose from, and you get different kinds of rewards. So go ahead and take a look and see if there's anything that piques your interest. Hey guys, thank you so very much. And until next time, have more D&D fun with DM Done.